Hello Cartier fans, I'm standing here with Pierre Rainero, who is the head of image, style and heritage at Cartier.
Hi Andrew.
So it is such a pleasure to meet you, and we have never done a video like this on Time+Tide. We've never had the time and the opportunity to really get into the Cartier story. I'm excited because you are a custodian of the brand. You've been with the brand for 40 years.
Right.
And I want to show you my new watch. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's a perfect watch.
So this is the Tank Louis Cartier in pink gold with a beautiful anthracite dial that's called an animated dial. Do you think I've chosen wisely?
I think it's one of my favorite because that specific shape was born in 1922. Louis Cartier was known to go into the purest shape possible for watches. Yes. So this watch I think is important in the entire production because it says a lot about the vision of the founder of the Cartier style.
This trend of more adventurous shapes and smaller sizes. Can you show it to me?
Yes, of course, let's go. Here you have a window which is split into two. You have the original inspiration from models from different dates. You have the tongue chinoise, so it shows the inspiration from the Chinese design. The tongue asymmetric, which was not always called asymmetric, can be also losange. Cloche, which means bell. And then you have a tongue normal. Tongue normal was called normal after your model was created in 1922. But it's interesting because whatever the names that were given to those watches, you see the exercise in terms of design on geometry. Mm-hmm. All those shapes are geometrical, and that says a lot about the specific point of view of Cartier on a watch instrument. Yes. You know, nothing linked to a circle or a traditional way of encapsulating, you know, the time measurements. And here you have the contemporary eco in a way. And talking about size, if you look at the tongue normal of these days, mm-hmm. you see that we are also dealing, you know, with a very reasonable volume, I think.
So these are heritage models?
Yes, they are. And you will see also because at the time, none of these watches were waterproof. So they are very fragile, mm-hmm. Taking into account the way of life of today.
Yes.
I think people today wouldn't then, you know, taking their watch off to wash their hands or something. Those correspond also to the level of demand people have today in terms of practicality, convenience, and things. So there's a kind of balance between, you know, the respect to the proportions as they were invented and our current way of life also, and the way we live with the objects today, that has changed a lot.
And I think watchmaker of shapes as a tagline doesn't mean very much until you connect it with a vitrine like this, because not only do we have all of the shapes, but we just see how they're sort of diminishing and increasing in size depending on the times, and as you've mentioned, the functionality, but this says it all.
For Louis Cartier, a good design was or is a design that can evolve through time while remaining faithful to its original idea.
Yes.
So what we do today in playing with those volume shapes is something he would have loved, in fact, because he knew that when he created those shapes, not only it was possible, but it was also a desire to evolve from the original shapes. A taste that appeared at the end of the 80s, mid-80s already, towards a new expression of masculinity. Yes. We initiated that phenomenon with a Pasha launched in 1985. Mm-hmm. It was one of the biggest watches at that time. It was part of an incredible trend that started at that moment for bigger watches, mm-hmm. linked to also sport watches,
yes.
as if elegance was a taboo word. And it took, I think, 2 decades.
Yeah.
We had to struggle to say, hey, there is also a route for elegant objects for men, you know. And today, I think that's why things change, because the context has changed.
I have an old question for you. How have you maintained interest in one brand for nearly as long as I've been alive? This must have been a challenge at times to maintain passion, because it waxes and wanes. We go in and out of fashion with different brands. You've stayed with one for 40 years. Why? How?
I think because there's such an interesting point of view on design, such an openness to evolutions, to inspirations, wherever they come from. If Cartier had a mission, it would be the one of creating shapes. The world of shapes has no time and no geography. Shapes are free.
I'm living proof of that because I just joined the Cartier family with this tank, Louis Cartier, and I thought that I've scratched the itch. I'm good now. I have a Cartier. I'm going to move on with my life. And you showed me that window back there with the cloche, with the asymmetric, and I'm just thinking, I think I'm in trouble here. There's going to be more. There's so many ways that this can go. But I would like to again thank you so much. Thank you very much, Pierre, for your time.
Thank you.
See you soon.